Now, Lisa Ngunan Adamu is the founder of STYLISA, helping women build confidence through style, image, and personal brand. She's also created STYLISA FoundHers, a platform that shines a light on women in business and the stories behind their journeys. Now, she joins me now to talk style, confidence, visibility, and why championing female founders matters. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you, Ngunan. How are you?
You know what? I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling good. And it's nice
Me
to have
too.
you in my studio.
Yeah, finally.
I know we've been talking for so long.
For so long. Definitely like over a year about doing
probably
this.
even
Probably
2
longer.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to finally be here.
Come to the dark side.
Of course. Of course.
So I've followed your journey. I've
Yes.
absolutely loved watching your journey. And I
Thank
think what I
you.
love about you as well is you took a risk.
Yes.
And you took a risk and betted on yourself.
Yes.
And how did that feel?
It felt very scary, I'm not going to lie, but I just knew it was something that I needed to do. I think since I was 5 years old, I have always been very independent, very single-minded, and I've always wanted to kind of be my own boss. And even when I was a kid, I didn't like taking orders from my parents, not in a negative way, but it's just like as well. I was raised by my mum, who was very much about, she has 2 girls, me and my sister. So she was very much about empowering us to kind of stand on our own 2 feet and, not rely on anyone else. So that's just something that both my sister and I have carried throughout our lives. So yeah, for me, it was scary, but it was something I just had to do.
Where did the idea for STYLISA come from?
So STYLISA the name came from many, many years back when I used to work in fashion as a stylist.
Okay.
So it's a combination of the stylist and Lisa. So that's where it came from. But because I really liked the name, I held on to it for years. And then fast forward to like 3 years ago when I started working for myself, I kind of resurrected the brand, but obviously on a different kind of journey. So yeah, I kind of decided I wanted to keep the name and then team it with FoundHers. So yeah, that's where it came from originally.
So STYLISA
Yes.
and then FoundHers.
Yes.
Celebrating 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year this week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I always say a lot can happen in a year.
Yes, definitely.
And I think good things happen when you stay consistent.
Yes.
And you've done just that.
Yeah.
So how has that been for you? How's that journey been for you?
It's been really interesting and it's been really, really cool. STYLISA FoundHers started by accident because I'd set up my own business 3 years ago, my personal branding consultancy, and I really wanted to do something to support women. I've always been passionate about supporting other people, especially fellow women. And I thought, you know what? I know a lot of incredible women who are doing the most amazing things who you don't always get to hear a lot about. So I just started reaching out to people about interviews, and it kind of just started off with a couple of interviews, and it's kind of a year later, it's taken on a life of its own. I'm speaking to potential sponsors for the platform. Obviously, you've been on it earlier this year, which was fantastic. And it's just a real opportunity for me to spotlight incredible women like yourself that I know and just some amazing women, Ngunan. There are so many women out there doing fantastic things that we never hear about. And you know yourself how important visibility is. So for me, it's my opportunity to first give back, secondly, support women, and thirdly, use my skills to kind of help them hopefully gain a bit more visibility.
And you know what? It's so important. I was watching a video today and there's a guy that goes around New York and he just finds people who just want to rap, sing, perform with him. And he just walks through the streets of New York. And there was a guy who jumped on the mic and he was 56. And he said, he was amazing. He was so talented. And I can't remember the young man's name. And he said, why didn't you do this as a career? And he said, I started, but as I got older, I realized time was running out and I needed to get a job. I needed to pay my bills. And you think there's a lot of hidden talent out there that it just takes an opportunity or a platform.
Exactly.
Just to elevate them. And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like I say, throughout the last 3 years of my business, I've met some, like I say, amazing women that you don't hear anything about. So for me, it was just an opportunity to, like say, use my skills to help other women, especially women of colour.
Yeah. And what would you say has been the theme that has resonated across all the women that you've interviewed?
I think the theme has been that that confidence isn't the issue, it's access. I think there's a narrative about women, especially that, women are maybe not as confident. All of the women I've interviewed are absolutely incredible. It's not a case that they lack confidence. They lack access to the right rooms, to money. Money is a big subject that comes up because every single one of the women I've interviewed who are building businesses are having challenges in terms of finance and raising funding and investment and stuff like that. So that is the key thing. It's like they don't lack confidence and they're absolutely amazing. they are incredible. I'm not saying that because I've interviewed them. You know, they're doing such incredible things, and they're multitasking. A lot of these women are mothers. They're caring for elderly relatives as well as building businesses. So they're just incredible people.
And you know, the funny thing is, and when we say money, it's not the one people to give the money. It's actually take a chance on what I'm trying to develop.
Exactly.
You know, the same way you take a chance on a man.
Yes, exactly.
Developing something similar.
Exactly.
So it's always, so it's always the same thing.
Yeah.
What do women in business often get wrong when it comes to like personal brand and visibility?
I don't know that they get anything wrong. I think what I have found is because a lot of the women I interview, a lot of women I've spoken to, they don't necessarily have access to press. It's not their background. They're a bit nervous about putting themselves out there. And my attitude is, well, you know, my mum always says, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I think it's not a case of them getting things wrong. I think it's taking that initial step of just saying, you know what, reaching out to you on social media, on Instagram, and saying, look, I'm doing this thing. I'd really love to come on your show and talk about it. I think because some of them don't have that background and that experience, they're a little bit nervous about putting themselves forward. But I always say you should never ever be nervous about putting yourself forward. You know, you have a story that's worth telling, and that could inspire, even if it's just one person out there. So I think it's not that they get anything wrong. I think a lot of the time they don't put themselves forward, which, you know, men have no problems doing that, but women can be a little bit kind of like nervous if they don't have all the skills or they don't have the experience. So I think it's a case of they're definitely not getting anything wrong. They just have to kind of put themselves out there and put themselves forward for things.
So true. And what's next for STYLISA and STYLISA FoundHers?
Oh, so what's next? So lots more interviews, really exciting interviews coming up this year. I'm developing an additional strand to it. So at the moment, it's the FoundHers interviews and the founder funders, which is the finance side. I'm developing a board side, so in terms of getting board places and what that experience is like once you're on the board, because obviously it's a very different experience sitting on a board to just like having like a regular job or running a business. You know, having sat on boards myself for the last 5 or 6 years, it's a completely different beast. So that's a strand that I'm developing. So that will be coming later this year. So I'm very excited.
I'm excited. I'd love to talk to you about that. And I've got a quick fire question for you before we let you go. Okay, first one, heels or trainers?
Oh, it's got to be trainers now. I'm a trainers girl. I love heels. I've got loads of heels at home, but I'm a trainers girl now.
Bold colour or classic black?
It's got to be bold colours for me.
Okay. Well, what's a wardrobe staple you couldn't live without?
It's got to be, even though I don't wear heels that much more, my Manolo Blahniks.
Okay, I love it. What is the one fashion trend you'd happily leave behind?
Jeans.
What?
I don't wear jeans.
That's true, actually.
I've never seen
you in jeans.
I don't wear jeans.
Oh, I'm a double, triple denim lady.
No, I think denim is really cool. Jeans they're just not my thing. I'm a dresses girl.
Coffee and a catch-up or champagne and shopping?
Champagne and shopping.
And if your personal style was a song, what would it be?
Oh, if my personal style was, it would be CC Peniston, finally.
Love it. Oh my God, Lisa, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure having you in the studio.
Thank you.
On Good Friday as well.
I know, Easter bank holiday.
Brap, brap. And how can we follow you on the socials?
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is STYLISA, which is STYLISA. My website is www.stylisa.com.
Amazing. And I've got a song for you. Luther Vandross. I really didn't mean it. Classic.
Such a classic.